welcome to Simple Living with Michelle Davenport. This month, I don't know if you know it, but this month is Veganary Month, where they take the month of January, and I believe it's like a, not a contest, but like a challenge for you to eat like one vegan meal out of your 7-day week. And so this whole month, I will be taking this cookbook, Weeknight One Pot Vegan Cooking from Nicole Malik. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. I'm going to be taking her new release cookbook, and I'm going to be making at least one meal, maybe two a week, to get you inspired. They're just one pot meals. So far, I tried her vegan roast done with portobello mushrooms, and oh my gosh, y'all, it was amazing. And that's the first video you'll be seeing in this series, but I plan to take her cookbook. Again, I just want to spotlight this cookbook. It is Weeknight One Pot Vegan Cooking, 75 recipes. And I just want to be taking one or two a week and make it for you guys. So you can just have a simple recipe that you may want to try. So up next is those portobello roast. It's a portobello with the potatoes and the carrots and the sauce and everything. And I've already made it. I've already tasted it, and it is fantastic. Okay, just wanted to pop on here and let you know that's what I'll be doing for this month as far as vegan cooking goes. All right, you know what I always say, go out there and be willing to be an answer to somebody else's prayer today. That's what I'm gonna do. Bye-bye.
Okay, y'all, let's make our pot roast, portobello pot roast. First of all, you're going to take two yellow onions. I use a yellow and a red, and you're going to saute it in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then you're going to add 4 chopped garlic. And you are going to stir that and cook that for about 3 to 4 minutes. Stirring constantly to keep that garlic moving in that pan so it doesn't sit in one place and burn. Because if you've ever burnt garlic in any of your dishes, you know you got to throw it all out. Yep, throw every bit of it out because it doesn't, you can't fix it. You can't take burnt garlic taste out of a meal. So you want to be very careful at this point and make sure none just sticks and stays in one place and burns. You want to keep it moving, as I'm doing here with my handy dandy little spatula. No, it's not. It's tongs. No spatula. All right, so you can let that cook, like I said, 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of flour. And we're going to make a roux. I don't know if any of you made a roux out there before. I don't know how many people are watching that's never made a roux, but it's just pretty much a fat, flour, and a liquid. So we have our fat, the olive oil, and then we put our flour in. And we're going to stir that around. You want to make sure you cook out the flour for about maybe 2 minutes, just so your dish doesn't taste like raw flour. Of course, give that little whisk bang on the side of your pan to knock off some of those onions. And you just keep stirring this, and like I said, for 1 to 2 minutes, just enough to brown that flour a little bit. Try to get some of the flour, the raw flour taste out of it before you add your liquid. And it's just as easy as that. A roux is just not that hard. A couple more bangs on the side of your pan. If anybody's ever made gravy, then you know how to make a roux. And then in about another minute, of course I had to come back for another stir because I second guessed myself, didn't think I had that flour quite mixed up enough and cooked, but that'll be the last time. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to retrieve my stout beer after I change utensils, a wooden spatula. I'm going to add this extra stout beer. You're going to add 3 cups of this. You're not going to add it all at once though. You want to add just enough to cover pretty much the bottom of your pan, and then that's when you make your roux. So you want to make sure that you don't have any clumps in your flour. So you want to give this a really good stir, and that's why I switched utensils. You just give it a good stir until you start seeing like a gravy. See there in the middle? You can see like a gravy forming with the onions. When you just want to make sure you get all that goodness off the bottom. of the pan. That's a lot of flavor there. And you're going to stir this until you can see, like I said, it's starting to form a little gravy mixture. And then you can go ahead and add the rest of your 3 cups of beer. There's the other 2 cups. So I used 1 cup to kind of make the roux, and then I added in the 2 cups. Just about shy of 2 cups. Didn't want to overflow my pan because I still have lots of stuff to add to it. Then you're going to add 3 cups after you stir this quite a bit. Get everything incorporated, all those flavors incorporated, stirring the bottom of that pan, getting all that good flavor that's on the bottom of the pan. Get that unstuck, and prayerfully it's not your garlic burnt. So I didn't smell garlic burning when I was cooking it, so I was good to go. But there is some flavor stuck on the bottom. Some of those onions that I caramelized, some of that flavor is stuck, so I'm just getting that gently, knocking that off the bottom of the pan and adding that flavor into my gravy. And as soon as I'm done, I'm going to add 3 cups of vegetable stock, broth, whatever you have on hand. And I'll add that. That's almost that whole carton. I think the whole carton is 4 cups, so you want to use everything shy of 1 cup. I just kind of guessed. I knew I still had to put other stuff in this pan, so I was trying to be cautious of that. And then you give it another stir. Just incorporating everything in the pan. What I love about all her recipes is they're all one-pot meals. So they're just, if you're going to try veganism for Veganary Month, this is a good time to try it with a good few recipes. Like I said, I'll be posting maybe 1 to 2 a week. We'll see how ambitious I get. And I'm using strictly her cookbook to do it. Now you're going to add 1/4 cup of vegan Worcestershire sauce. Now make sure it is vegan. And you're going to add 1/4 cup of tomato paste. If you got your tomato paste in a can, you want to go ahead and transfer the rest of it in a little Ziploc freezer bag and then twist it, put the date on it, and put it in your freezer for the next time you need to use it. Then we're going to have 2 tablespoons of sage, basil, and rosemary. You want to use about 1/4 cup of the basil, 2 tablespoons of fresh sage, and 2 tablespoons of the fresh rosemary. And you want to chop that up, and then you're going to, as soon as you get that tomato paste dissolved, basically all dissolved in there, then you're going to go ahead and add some of your spices and seasonings in there. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I had the basil. So, but I had everything else. And I didn't realize I didn't have it until I was already too late in the game recording this video. So, you may want to make sure you have everything on hand before you do it. And double check, because I thought I did. There goes all my fresh herbs. Just throwing it in the pot. I'm going to give it a stir. Also a little pepper to your liking. And then we'll add a little salt. Again, this is to your liking. And now we'll just give it a little stir. Get everything incorporated in there. Mix all that salt, that pepper, all the herbs. Then you want to put your portobello mushrooms down after you've gotten the gills out of there and chopped off the stems, cleaned them up real well with a damp rag, and then you'll go ahead and put them in your pan and then pour some of that gravy over the top of it. You're going to have 4 total. You just stick some of that gravy over the top of those mushroom tops. Make sure every bit of everything going in there has all the gravy all over it. You're going to add those carrots, 2 cups. I think I used about 1.5 cups, but my pan was getting pretty close to being full, and I still needed to put potatoes in there, so again, I was being cautious. Just gonna go ahead and push those little carrots all down in that gravy and make sure every bit of the mushroom, the portobello mushrooms, have gravy on top of them, as to not to dry it out when it goes into the oven. Okay, now we're going to put our potatoes. And as you see, my pan's getting pretty full, so I am just going to hand place a lot of them, and then I roast some on the side. With a little bit of butter and olive oil and some vegan Parmesan cheese over the top, because I couldn't fit my 10 Yukon Gold chopped and rinsed potatoes in my pot. So you might want to use something bigger than I think that's a 12 inch cast iron skillet. You may, if you have something bigger, you may want to use it, but that's the biggest I had, so I was using what I had. Wasn't a big deal. I just roasted whatever was left in my bowl into a roasting pan and put some foil over it, and it worked out beautiful. Just trying to squeeze all those potatoes in there. And I guess I thought a few more might fit. So here I go, squeezing every little potato. I must have been doing this before I had the thought that I could roast them on the side. I have an epiphany in a minute, and I start roasting them on the side and quit trying to smush them all in my little pan. Again, if you have a bigger pan or Dutch oven, feel free to use what you have. And if you run into the same problem I had, just roast those potatoes on the side. Even if you can't fit any in the pot, roast them on the side. You can still spoon the gravy over them when they come out. And again, I'm giving it just one more whirl. Whirl. Making sure everything's covered really well. And then I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 for 1 hour. And it's going to come out fantastic. And that is it. That's how you make this one pot Portobello pot roast. It is so delicious. Into the oven. And we're done. Okay.
Okay, time for the taste test. Oh my God. You did it again.
Vegan roast.
Mm, mm, mm.